Today I'm going to talk about the iPad Pro from the perspective of an artist who might not be the biggest Apple fan. I can tell right now this is going to be like one of my most disliked videos ever. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Circworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And when we do those things, a lot of us work digitally. Now, recently I've been doing a lot more of my work digitally, even my comic books, which in the past most of my comic book work has been more traditional in nature. I've always done other work digitally, but now it seems like almost, at least the majority of everything that I'm doing is more digital. So I was thinking I really wanted to have more of a mobile solution. So I looked around, I tried to figure out what the best way to go with that, and I decided on getting an iPad Pro. Now, first off, I just want to let you guys know, this is not going to be a review of the iPad Pro. I'm going to give you some of my opinions and things, and kind of from an artist standpoint, this artist specifically, I'm going to do a little bit of an unboxing, but I don't want anyone to think that I'm going to go through and talk about specs and all that kind of stuff. There are plenty of other videos for that, and I've kind of got it, a lot of times I'll put videos out and I try not to be clickbaity. I try not to, lead people on or try to promise things that aren't in the video. I usually I specifically spell out in the description, and no one reads the descriptions of these videos, but what the video is about and in the title and everything. But still, sometimes I'll get people like, oh, they're upset because they wanted the video to be something and then when they watch it, it was something else when it was never intended to be what they wanted. So I just want to get that out right now so I don't get some crazy stuff in the comments. I imagine I might already get some things in the comments because I'm not the biggest fan of Apple. I use Apple products. I've worked on both Apple and PC. In the underground studio, I'm mostly PC based, but like I said, I've got an iPhone. I'm gonna get the iPad Pro, and when I work on staff or as an artist, full time or whatever, most of the time that is working on a Mac. So I've used both, and and there's a lot of pluses with the Mac, and to me there's a lot of minuses too. So I'm gonna be real, and this is just my personal opinion. But first, what I want to do is sort of do an unboxing. Unfortunately, I don't have what I need yet. My original goal was to sort of do an unboxing and a product review of the Apple iPad Pro, and I purchased it. Unfortunately, I don't have it yet. I do have the Apple Pencil, but without the actual iPad, this is pretty much like a paperweight. I don't think it does anything. It can't draw like a normal pencil and paper or anything. It doesn't do anything with you need the Apple iPad. So that's gonna be, so I just thought I'd talk about it, and you know what? Oh, okay. So it sounds like we got mail. Maybe that's the iPad. Let's find out. So if you guys aren't familiar, this is the Vaculux, this mail delivery system that we have here in the underground lair. So let's check out and see what we got. Oh, I got a lot of packages. So I did order the Apple iPad and some accessories. And if you are not familiar, obviously this thing, we can't send a whole iPad through this thing. So what we have to do is dehydrate all the products and everything, and then just kind of add a little water, bring them back to normal size. So we'll do that. Otherwise, you've got this big pencil and you're trying to draw on a little tiny iPad. That's not going to work. So let's bring this stuff back to normal size, and then let's unbox it. All right, here we go. Actual size. We're going to take that plus our pencil, and let's check some of this stuff out. So like I said, I did get some accessories. So I'm gonna open those first. I don't know what's what here, but we may have to speed this up a bit because it's gonna be a long video otherwise. Okay, first off, I have a case. I thought this was kind of cool. I am gonna sticker it up, put some cool stuff on it. Looks like the old silica gel here. All right. This looks like kind of those old composition folders. So I just kind of like this idea. The thing one of the reasons I did pick this one out is because it has a place inside the case for the pencil. I've seen some cases where they just kind of fold over and the pencil's just kind of sticking up here magnetically. And I don't know, I haven't actually looked at it yet, so I was afraid maybe that might bump off or fall off. And this stuff is super expensive, the Apple Pencil. Yeah, I don't want to lose this thing. So this is the case I got. I don't think this is going to be as exciting. All right, so this is a screen protector. Now, it was recommended to by my friend Corey Kerr, who has an iPad Pro and everything, to get a tempered glass. So I did that, but originally I wanted to get one of the Paperlights, which makes it sort of like, it's got a matte finish, so it cuts out on glare, it cuts off on fingerprints. I imagine this will probably give a lot of fingerprints because it's glass. So I don't know if this is possible, if it will work with pressure sensitivity and everything, but I think I might want to try to do both, because I'm worried about it breaking, and I hear with the tempered glass, this will probably break way before the actual screen, which is good. But I'm going to see if I can do both this and the Paperlight over it. I don't know if that'll work or not, but that's kind of the goal. I don't have the other one yet, but that's that. All right, let's get to the cool stuff. Let's go ahead and open the pencil. Oh, here we go. Okay, we pull that out. I did kind of break it a little bit. Not the pencil, just the box. Okay, let's check it out. All right, so it feels like a pencil. It's I don't know, it's heavier than I thought. It's not heavy, but it's a little heavier than, I guess I was just thinking a pencil, but yeah, I guess it would have to be a little heavier, which is fine, you know. But yeah, it feels, you know, it's not like the Cintiq Stylus, where it's kind of got a little more comfort to it. I really do like the Cintiq Stylus. They're a little bigger. Okay, here we go. Here, the actual Apple iPad Pro. This is the, what, 12.5 inch, I think. I don't make decisions like this lightly. I wasn't even going to get an Apple iPad, or, but I just started recently getting into doing way more digital drawing. I've always been, for the most part, a traditionalist as far as like drawing comics and things like that. I still like to do that traditionally, a lot of it, but I started getting into doing more of that digitally. And I've always done a lot of, I've always been about 90% digital on other things, but like my comic stuff and just my sketching and all that, which is kind of what I want this mostly for, is sketching. I always did that traditionally, so now that I'm doing more digital, I thought maybe it's time to do this. So I looked at the previous versions, and my decision to get this one, it's just me. I'm not going to recommend everyone get this top of the line brand new iPad, because there's so many. Even for a long time I was thinking, even like the newer iPads, just the regular ones, do have Apple Pencil compatibility. I think it might be the first, or I don't know how many versions of the Apple Pencil there are, but the version before the one I have, I think that one works with just the regular iPad. So the new one. So that was for a while the way I was going to go, and then it's always like, okay, I can kind of justify spending this extra, and then this, and then maybe this, and then I saw some different. Then I was battling over how much, how many gigs to get, and it was just each time I was like, oh, I might as well just get the top of the line, because it's an investment. Thing about Apple, and why I'm worried about that, and this is one of the things I don't like about Apple products, is they are not built to last on purpose. They want, and that serves the Apple community well, because the Apple community, the people that are Apple fanboys and girls, they want the next thing as soon as it comes out. They're waiting in line, they're doing all that stuff. So the minute there's a new one, they want to just get rid of the other one. So that works fine for that kind of mindset. For me, if I'm spending a lot of money on something, I want that thing to last. So with like a Cintiq, I bought a used Cintiq, and I don't know how many years old it was when I bought it, but I've been using it for years, and it shows no sign of slowing down. I mean, it is, when you invest in something like that, it's gonna last, and it's a quality product. Whereas Apple, the battery life will start wearing out, everything. I mean, if I can get more than 2 years out of this, which it doesn't sound great when you consider the amount of money I spent. So that's my problem with Apple. That's one of my main problems with Apple. So hopefully I didn't make a bad decision there, because when I buy something, I still have, I was given as a gift, like I used to work for a game company, and one year we were doing really well. They bought everyone the original Apple iPad, the first one that came out, no camera, no pressure sensitivity, no nothing like that. you know, the first generation. So everyone got that. I still have it. It basically doesn't do anything. You're lucky. Maybe sometimes you can get on the internet and surf, but that's about it. I mean, it just stopped working. Now that, it doesn't have to last. I don't expect something to last maybe that long, but it wasn't too long before, you know, things stopped working on it and the OS wasn't compatible anymore, and you couldn't, you know, you couldn't watch YouTube because you couldn't re-download the app or anything like that. So hopefully that won't be the case with this, but anyway, so here we go. Okay, nice colorful picture. Looks like one of those things where you, I don't know if you've ever done, where you take the paint and you just kind of take the water and you kind of dip it in and pull it out. Anyway, you can't see this. I'm balancing it on my knee, and I'm probably gonna drop this thing that I spent a ton of money on. Ooh, that's it. Oh, it's right up front and center. I thought there'd be something on top or whatever, but no, that's it. It's right up here. Okay. Now, the big version, now it doesn't feel as heavy as I thought, or as cumbersome as I thought, because I was going back and forth between the size too, and everyone was saying, I heard a lot of artists saying, well, it's kind of hard to hold. I don't know if I'll be holding it that much. I'll probably be balancing it. One of the main reasons I got this is because I'm going on a trip and I want something on the plane and everything like that. And I want to start getting on doing more portable stuff. I want to be able to draw wherever I go. I don't, you know, I spend way too much time in the underground lair. So yeah, it doesn't feel like super heavy. I like it. The screen size is great. It's about almost the size of an 8.5 by 11 paper US. I don't know what that is. Is that A4 in other places? I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this and unwrap it. I'm afraid to kind of do it here. I don't want to drop or anything. I'm gonna set it on a table, and this table does not work because it'll slide right off. So let's check that out. Let's kind of dive a little deeper into this thing. All right, so while I'm unboxing this, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my decision to invest in the iPad Pro from the perspective of somebody who's not a huge Apple fan, but why I decided to do it. Now, here's one of the things I'm not a fan of. So included here, you see this, the power source is a USB-C. Now, it's not I don't think that's necessarily proprietary to Apple, but it's nothing that I don't have that on my PC, so I can't plug that in. I went and tried to buy an adapter for that, and it didn't work. So there's really, at least from what I could find, there's no way for me to get information from the iPad to the PC. Some stuff you can do through the clouds or to email. I mean, but they just make it so complicated. And even when you buy these adapters, they just don't work. I bought one that had because obviously there's no way to get any other information onto that iPad, so I purchased something with where I could take my SD cards to try to bring stuff onto the iPad. That thing didn't work. That adapter didn't work. The USB-C to USB, I bought an adapter for that. That did not work. So this is one thing that really frustrated me in the beginning, was just what I did. One of the first things I did in using this iPad was I filmed something, with the camera and everything. It's got a decent camera. I mean, the specs are great. But so I filmed something that was about an hour long, and it was so big that I couldn't get it off the iPad onto my PC. I could not. I tried to upload it to the iCloud. It just kept timing out. I tried to move it over to Google Drive. Same thing. It was just having massive problems. In the end, the only thing I could do is to basically edit it on, iTunes, not iTunes, but iMovie, and compress the file size. Basically, speed up the artwork, which I was going to do anyway. But that's the thing. Apple wants you to use only. They just want you to use their stuff. So I mean, they really make it difficult if you are a PC user to get anything off of that. And to me, I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that their planned obsolescence practices, where they purposely design things to be out of date, or they slow down battery life, or again, the big Apple fans don't care because they want the newest thing. When I make a purchase, when I'm dropping this amount of cash on something, I want it to be something that lasts, and that's just not That's not what Apple's about. Unlike, you know, that's why I really like Cintiq and Wacom and their stuff. But anyway, so those are a few of my gripes with Apple. Now, so why did I decide to do that? And why did I decide to make this purchase? Because there's another, before I get into that, and this is sort of just a rant, and it's kind of freeform, but the other thing that I'm not a big fan of is just kind of how Apple has, in a way, treated their artists, or treated creatives in general, because it took so long just to even have pressure sensitivity on the iPad. So many versions. I think they should have had that in the very first iteration. And Steve Jobs notoriously said, you know, nobody wants a stylus, and you know. And I don't know if he was coming from the perspective of people don't want to use a stylus on their phone to navigate and things like that, but he definitely wasn't thinking of artists when he said that, because for an artist to draw on something portable like this, which is, it's, now that they have it, it's awesome, but they should have had this a lot sooner. They should have had something like the Apple Pencil a lot sooner. But it was like, my thought is, it was kind of like creatives were the ones supporting Apple when really no one else cared. You know, it was always, you know, Apple was always seen as something when you go into like a design studio or whatever, everyone was on Mac and all that kind of stuff. So they were the ones really supporting it before, you know, before the iPhone came around, before people really became, before Apple became kind of what it is now. And it just seems like they've snubbed creatives for so long. I mean, it's like they eventually get around to us, but the fact that we didn't have this Apple Pencil until now, it's just ridiculous. So just some of those, you know, that kind of mindset, kind of working against creatives when they've always supported Apple, really bothers me quite a bit. But so in saying that, I mean, why did I get this thing? Well, I was looking around at some different options, and you know, whether it's a Surface Pro or whatever, because I wanted something mobile. And what happened at the time is, because this one that I bought is like the top of the line, you know, it's got the most memory and everything. That's not what I set out to get. I set out to get just the regular, I think the 2018 iPad Pro has Apple Pencil support. Not Pro, just the 2018 iPad introduced Apple Pencil support. And those are relatively, you know, comparatively not too expensive. So it was a great option. And as I started looking into it, I kept taking these steps, and it's like, well, if I'm gonna get this, I might as well just go up a notch. And then I kept going up until eventually I ended up purchasing, you know, the iPad Pro, the large version with the extra memory, which, you know, I don't know if that's necessarily, it's probably not a good, you know, the fact that it's got all this memory, but if I can't get things off of it onto my PC, that's a problem. So, and, you know, I think there are ways to, there are other options that I haven't looked into that I think you can sort of expand the memory, like with some kind of like a portable drive. There's some ways and other software that you can get to kind of, you know, make that happen. I didn't look into that. I just basically decided, you know, I'm just going to go all out and get this thing. Did I make the right decision? That remains to be seen. I mean, to be honest, I don't use, and this is just me. I know you can do so much stuff with this thing. I bought it primarily as something that I could do digital sketching remotely and mobile. And that's what I use it for. And for that purpose, it's great. And those sketches, they don't take up a lot of memory. I can email them to myself and I can get them, you know, I can get them on my PC, but I still haven't found a way to connect this thing to iTunes on my PC or anything like that. And I don't do a lot of other stuff on it, other than sometimes I'll set it up and I'll be watching videos and stuff, but I don't do a lot of productivity on it other than just as sort of a digital sketchbook. And if that's the case, then maybe I spent way too much money on this thing. So we're gonna have to see how long it lasts and everything. But I do enjoy drawing on it. I mean, you know, and it's like you make that investment, and then after you've made it, it's kind of like
you already did it, so I don't think about it so much anymore. But at the time, I mean, it was a big thing, and I'm very precious about it because it is, you know, just taking it around. I don't like leaving it in my car, so I got to take it with me in the messenger bag, and it's kind of a whole ordeal when I go out. You know, if I go out to a Starbucks and I draw or whatever on it, and then I have to go to a store, then I got to bring it in with me. You know, I just worry that it's going to get stolen, and that's, you know, that's a whole other thing because this thing's pricey, but I do really enjoy drawing on it. There's a lot of apps. I won't get into all those. A lot of people swear by Procreate. For sketching anyway, I like just the Autodesk Sketch app. It's free, and I do have Procreate, and I'm going to dive into that eventually because so many people say how great it is. But just on my initial playing around with it and everything, I like the brush engine in Sketchbook or in Autodesk Sketch way better than Procreate. It just feels more natural to me. Now, I know Procreate does a lot more than that, and then that the Sketch is limited. But they've also got things coming out like Infinity Designer that I want to try out. There is a Manga Studio or Eclipse Studio available for the iPad, but it is subscription based. I might eventually bite that bullet because if I start doing comics remotely, but I like working from home. I like, or in the, you know, the command center here in the underground lair. I like having all the resources. I like all the monitors. I like to work big. So, you know, that's my preference as far as working. It's not necessarily working mobile, but it's nice to have that option. And I don't have a laptop or any other mobile option. So this is pretty much it. So those are some of the reasons that I decided to get this. And did I make a good decision? I don't know. That kind of remains to be seen. We'll find out.
All right, so there you go. That's my initial reaction, unboxing, and just kind of testing out the Apple iPad Pro. This is the 12.9-inch version. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have hopefully a lot of fun playing around with this, get to know this thing, and hopefully it'll be one of my main sources of productivity because, you know, like I said, I dropped a lot of money on this thing. So hopefully I didn't make a bad decision. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on Apple products? Do you have the iPad? What kind of things are you doing it to stay creative? And yeah, let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys later. That is all.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Circworks on social media. Do you like making comics? Then go to Circworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.